All right, I had my suspicions and I think I'm correct. There's not one child in the house. But we are all children at heart, and being the teacher that I am, I will press on and I'll turn it into a bit of a teaching exercise for you all. Oh, thank you, children. Look at you all up the front here. I love it. All right. Actually, I'm going to ask you a question. You need to be honest. Did any of you struggle to get to church this morning? Seriously, because sometimes you can struggle, whether it's you slept in, couldn't get out of bed, maybe you haven't eaten, you've got your cranky pants on. Tell that to my children all the time at school. Maybe you're rushed for time for whatever reason. We can struggle for a lot of things. But I want you to think about that word struggle today, and we're going to have a look at how struggles can happen, first of all, in the animal kingdom. So let's have a look at our first animal up there, the butterfly. Now, a lot of you have probably heard about this before, but when a butterfly is hatching out of its chrysalis, it needs to struggle. And I've actually told this story before, because if it doesn't, it actually releases a chemical that pushes the fluids from its body into its wings. And if it doesn't struggle out of that chrysalis, its wings will just stay stagnant and all curled up, like you can see for that one where it's just come out, and it doesn't have the strength to fly. So the struggle is absolutely imperative for a butterfly to survive, for it to get out of its chrysalis. Next one, please, Bob. Okay, some sharks that give birth to live babies. I know you've probably heard the song Baby Shark, Mummy Shark, Daddy Shark, Baby Shark, that one. Well, the parents are not very nice parents at all. The only thing the mother shark does that can possibly help its young is actually to give birth to live young in shallow waters, because the second they're born, she's gone. She just heads off back to the deep water and the baby's left to fend for itself. And that's quite a struggle, because it has to use its own strength and predatory skills in order to avoid other predators. Not a lot of them do, unfortunately, but yep, there's a struggle right there. Now let's look at this next one. Randall, can you please? Okay, so when you look at a giraffe and you see how spindly their legs are, you think, oh, you know, they've got quite fragile legs, but I thought I'd bring this in to give you a bit of a concept. Okay, so there's 2 metres, that's about 2 metres. That's the drop the baby has to take when it's born from there to the ground. And I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty harsh to me. Now, if you thought you struggled getting to church, imagine being born into that world. Not only do they have to drop to the ground, but within 1 hour, they have to learn to stand, to walk, and to run. Because if they don't, the predators will get them. So if you thought you struggled to get out of bed this morning, think about the poor giraffes. And yeah, many of them don't survive, many of them do, and it's just a miracle that they do. All right, so before we go to the next slide, I want you to think about how we actually struggle and how it's actually good for us. Because for these animals, they have to go through that struggle in order to survive and to become better and stronger creatures. Now, as humans, we have to struggle as well, not just with the things we do, with using our bodies and exercising and all those sort of things, but also our brains. Our brains actually thrive on struggling and challenging and being challenged with things. And this is the teacher part of me coming out. When you have an existing idea or an existing way of understanding something, and you have the challenge of new ideas and a new way of doing something, and you're really struggling with how to do that, that's actually called the zone of proximal development. And that challenge point between what you know and what you don't know is where your brain struggles, maybe wants to give up, but if you keep persevering, the rewards are immense. Now, one way you can train your brain is to make connections with things. Now, some of you may have used this on your phone, 4 pics, 1 word, where you have 4 pictures and you have to see, well, what's the relationship between all 4 pictures? And that's a really good way to train your brain. Now, if I had the children here, I'd give them a very simple one. We'll put a simple one up now. If you look at those 4 pictures, you can easily see what would be the 1 word that comes to your mind, everybody? Toys, of course, that's a simple one. So you can start from more simple ones and then you can go to more challenging ones that actually help your brain to grow. So let's have a look at this next one. Now, the thing with this one is you need some background knowledge, and a lot of children won't have the background knowledge, and that's why this would have been a challenge for them. I'll see if it's a challenge for you. What is the one word you think of when you look at those 4 words? I'll let you have a little bit of thinking time. All right, the word is? Stack. Yeah, it is a stack. That's right. So you've got a stack of books. You've got the can, which is a stack of stones that people use as a memory somewhere, wherever they go. You've got a stack of, I think it's blocks on the floor. And then the chimney stack would be the one that would really get children because they may not have that background knowledge. And background knowledge is what builds comprehension and what helps you to challenge your brain to grow. So the word is stack. Now, thinking about all of that, we may think, Jesus being the Son of God, he didn't need to struggle. Why would he have to struggle? I mean, he's God, he's all powerful. But this next video clip shows that when he became human, what a struggle it really was. So let's have a look at that.
Glorify me with yourself. Father. Speak through me.
Thanks, Bob. Ellen White actually says it was as difficult for Jesus to come down to our level as it is for us to rise up to his level. So imagine having to dampen down on that power to be able to just speak and the fire happens. Speak and the food is there. Speak and you're actually living in a house, not a tent. And yet he did that. He sweated. He did all that. It just blows me away. And of course, the biggest struggle of all, and he even sweated blood over this one, was, do I have to do this sacrifice? Once he actually chose that, yes, he would definitely go through with it, it was almost like the struggle went because he accepted that that's what he had to do. So when you are struggling, you are not alone. Jesus has been there. He's done that probably, definitely more than we could ever know. So thinking too about our Anzacs, think about the struggles that they did for our freedom and peace, and that's what Jesus gives us too, freedom and peace. Thank you.